Hey guys, welcome to my show, my YouTube channel. If you're here, I want to thank you first and foremost. Um, so let's talk about today. It's April 19th. It's Passover. It's the anniversary of Albert Hoffman's famous bicycle ride. It's also the day of the clash of the intellectual titans. I'm going to use scare quotes there. Jordan Peterson and Slavoj Žižek are, as we speak, debating over whether or not capitalism or Marxism is more conducive to happiness. But that's not what I'm going to talk to you about today. Today I'm going to talk to you about Good Friday and Passover. That's today at dusk. It's 5:05 right now on April 19th, and at 8:11 the sun will officially descend beyond the crest of the curvature, sorry flat earthers, the curvature of the earth, and thus Passover begins. So what is Passover? It's a Jewish holiday that commemorates when God committed genocide/infanticide against the Egyptians by sending the angel of death across the land and murdering the firstborn son of every household that didn't have the blood of a lamb painted on their door. Now what is that about, really? God told Moses that he would punish the Egyptians with 10 plagues, and then he would send the angel of death to murder the firstborn sons of all the people who didn't have lamb's blood on their door. Now this is a pretty stupid idea if you think about it. The stories in the Bible are generally pretty stupid. Jordan Peterson can take a I'll edit that out. He'll take a stupid story in the Bible and make sense of it through psychoanalyzing it through the lens of Jungian archetypes. Now Joseph Campbell was the master of that. Peterson just plagiarizes Campbell and gives it an anti-feminist and conservative slant, and the crowd goes wild. I'm not really impressed by that dude, if you haven't gathered that by now. I'm actually pretty baffled by his success. His success is a testament to how little the general public actually knows about the Bible and about religion and psychology. And while I don't have a PhD in anything, I do think I have some basic sense because I question everything I hear and see. I learn and I connect the dots. At least I try to. So let's get to this Passover Good Friday shit. Good Friday is the day Catholics celebrate, commemorate the death of Jesus Christ, their Savior. It's never on the same day each year, though. You may have noticed that. It's always on a Sunday, and the way we determine which Sunday it falls on is by taking the vernal equinox, which is the time of year where the day and night are the same length, and then figure out when the first full moon after that equinox is, and planting the Good Friday on the first full moon after. They don't tell you that shit in catechism. At least they didn't tell me that. What does any of this shit have to do with the day Jesus was executed and rose from the dead? Funny meme on the internet, maybe you've seen it. Jesus died for your sins, but he didn't stay dead. He came back like 3 days later, so what did he really sacrifice? His weekend? Jesus gave up his weekend for your sins. Okay, so the whole of Christianity and Judaism are pretty wonky. They're supposed to be believed by the layman and understood by the ruling class. And the ruling class do all these rituals because they know something about the cosmic order that you don't. And it's that what you understanding and what you believing and what they understand, it's not in their best interest for you to understand what they know. It's better for you to believe a bunch of bullshit. So I'm going to level with you. I'm going to connect the dots and speculate, because that's basically what this channel is going to be about, is me taking things that you know and hopefully giving you a 180-degree perspective shift so that you can see it in 360 degrees. I'll edit that cough out. Sorry, I'm fucking doing terrible things to my lungs. Anyway, before Judaism and Christianity, there was Babylon. There was the Epic of Gilgamesh and Zoroastrianism. I don't know why I can never say that word. Zoroastrianism. That's the religion from the Ghostbusters, if you didn't know that. So Easter's named after Astarte and or Ishtar. So Astarte, she's the divine feminine. She's Venus in Greek mythology. And Astarte had sexual relations with her son, who is Baal. And Baal is the lord of the flies. In Gnostic scripture, it's Jehovah. It's the demiurge. It's essentially the god of materialism. So Venus represents both the morning star and the evening star. Venus represents love and war and death and rebirth. And that's important because that's what the spring equinox is all about. Bunnies and eggs, they all kind of symbolize fertility. And Ishtar is the fertility goddess. It has really nothing to do with Jesus or his resurrection. All he really has to do with it is that he was born again. Out of his death, he was born anew, kind of like the phoenix. That's sort of typically the archetype. It's the same idea. Astarte, Ishtar, Ashtaroth. Google an image of her. She's seen as being horned, holding a serpent and a lotus. She has a lion's head. These symbols are all relative to Yaldabaoth. And Yaldabaoth is the god of the Old Testament according to the Gnostics. The god of the Old Testament according to... Well, I'll do a show on the Gnostics on another episode. So basically, Passover and Good Friday are about astrology. You know how your religious authorities tell you astrology is stupid and a gateway into the dark occult and it's nonsense? Well, they don't think it's nonsense. They believe in it, they understand it, and they manipulate it. They do shit on a very specific dates. They do the shit they do. It's not random or arbitrary. Okay, they do shit like this. April 19th is a significant date to this year because of the equinox, because of the full moon, because they pay attention to the way the planets and the sun and the moon relate with each other. Jung said something really, really fascinating about astrology and something about wine. How astrology predicts the characteristics of a specific grape based on its location and the time of year that it was harvested, and it's something like that. Okay, so where do we go? Basically, Passover and Good Friday are about astrology. They don't think it's nonsense. They believe in it. They understand it. They manipulate it. They do shit on very specific dates and times. The Mormons, the Catholics, they understand the shit. And they want you to believe in stupid shit and not understand reality. That's what they do, and that's what they intend to do. And if you want to believe them, I don't blame you. Because knowing what I know, I kind of wish I didn't. But if you really want to know this shit, then listen to what I'm telling you. And if I'm wrong, I'd be thrilled to find out how wrong I am. Because I don't actually want to be right about this shit. I really don't. It's not convenient, okay? But the truth, when has the truth ever been convenient? I don't know. So Passover is objectively a Jewish holiday that is determined by astrology to commemorate the day of the angel of death murdering Egyptians to punish them for not being Jews and holding the Jews in bondage as slaves. And how does this conversation between God and the angel of death go down? Maybe something like this. God says, "Angel of death, into my quarters, please." Angel of death, what is thy bidding, my master? God, I want you to go across the land and every house you hold. I want you to go across the land in every household you come across. I want you to murder the firstborn son of every family that isn't Jewish. Angel of death. How will I know they are Jewish? God. I told the Jews to smear lamb's blood on their front door. Angel of death. How will I know it's lamb's blood? God. Who gives a shit? If you see blood on the door, pass over that house. Angel of death. How will I know who the firstborn sons are? God. I'll tell you. I'll let you know. Angel of death. How will you know? God. Because I'm omniscient, dumbass. Also, if I forget who's Jewish, I can look at their dicks. I commanded them that all of the men get part of the dick I designed for them when I created them. I commanded them to cut that part of their dick off. They cut part of their dick off. Well, actually, a rabbi actually bites it off and then sucks the baby's dick blood. It's part of the way I've told them to worship me. That's not the point. Just go murder the firstborn son of every non-Jew on the planet. You have 3 days. You start at dusk on Friday after the first full moon after the vernal equinox. Don't ask any more stupid questions. Just get out there and start murdering firstborn sons. I'll do an episode on circumcision and how fucked up that whole practice and ritual is in the near future. And because, well, actually, Jordan Peterson said something where you can't figure out a motive, look at the outcome, and then extrapolate and juxtapose the motive onto the behavior. Because basically, the most basic way I can explain this is that if you can't figure out why you can't trust people's word. Their actions speak louder than words. That's the best way I can surmise that. So, after I made a few of these videos, and if I get any subscribers outside of my Facebook friends, which is probably, I'm going to have, in my experience, I have more interactions with people that I don't know than people than I do, for whatever reason. Like, I've had a few Facebook posts go completely viral with thousands of people interacting with them and responding to them. I can't get any of my friends to. I can't get any of my friends and family to like what I do. So this is probably not for you, but if you appreciate what I'm doing here, I appreciate you. And even if you don't, if you're in my friends and family list, on some level I do appreciate you. So after I made a few of these, and I get subscribers outside of my Facebook friends, I'll set up a Patreon, and I'm going to see if I can't figure out how to stop being a wage slave and spend more time making videos, animation, music, art, less time doing a stupid job that I'm already maxed out in my upward mobility because I don't want to play golf with Mormon cocksuckers and kiss their asses just to advance my career. I need a career change. And hopefully I can just inform and entertain people with all of the bullshit that I've studied over the years because I'm a sick human being and I'm a cynical and jaded dude on the border of paranoia, except I'm not paranoid because I really don't care that much about what happens to me because I already know I'm going to die. And death is kind of important part of life, and it shouldn't be avoided. You can't avoid it anyway. I have a lot of theories on that for later, and I hope you'll join me in exploring our minds and our souls through introspection, observation, research, and speculation, because life is a mystery, and nobody's going to tell you the secrets. But I will if I can figure them out. If I can figure out what the hell is going on in this ridiculous reality that we live in right now, I will tell it to you straight. That's a dicey subject. You know, the harbinger of truth often is murdered and the message is rejected. That's what happened to Jesus. That's why he died 2019 years ago on this very day. Yeah, I mean, Jesus is the truth and the light and the way. If you believe in, if you're a Christian, if you believe in Christianity. I don't know that I do, because it's sort of like Telephone, that game Telephone, where you tell somebody in their left ear and then they tell somebody in the next person to their left ear, and the word or the story, the phrase goes around, and by the time it reaches the last person, it's not even the same thing at all. It's completely different. I think a lot of that is applicable to Christianity, but in 1945, two discoveries were found in the Middle East. One was of the Nag Hammadi codices, and the other was the Dead Sea Scrolls. And within those two archaeological finds, we got a lot more insight into who Jesus actually was, and he wasn't who King James told us he was. What the Catholics are telling us, and what the Mormons are what everybody who thinks they have a relationship with Jesus is telling you, doesn't include that stuff. It's canon that's been left out, and I honestly, personally think it's fascinating and relevant. And I will do a video on Gnosticism in the near future. As far as Passover, happy Passover, happy Good Friday. I'm not exactly well. Okay, let's talk about why Catholics and Christians celebrate the execution of their God, the death of their God. By the way, I've been reading. I don't read anymore. I listen to Audible books. And my mom suggested that I listen to a book by the Great Courses called The Will to Power. You may have heard of that word, that phrase. It's the title of one of Nietzsche's books, but it wasn't actually written by Nietzsche. That's not exactly true. It was written by Nietzsche, but it wasn't produced and released with the intention of being attributed to him. You know, it was just his thoughts. His sister actually released that, and it was not meant for public consumption, so it can't be taken as seriously or as legitimately as his other works were, his other books. I'm gonna stop recording right now and edit. Also, by the way, okay, so this is my very first YouTube video that I've ever uploaded, ever. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at speaking into a microphone. I'm not good at thinking with a camera pointed at my face. So bear with me. It's going to get better. I'm going to get better at editing over time, and I'm also in my future videos, I will focus less on my stupid head and my stupid face talking to you, and I will include pictures, slides, video clips. I'm going to do my best to argue against everything that I disagree with, basically, which is almost everything. If you know me, you know I'm a bit of a contrarian. I don't like being told how to think or what to think or how to look at the world. I want to live and die on my own terms. And that's part of the reason why I'm making this YouTube channel, is because in the last couple months, I've seen a lot of people with less creativity and imagination than me, and a lot less intellect and a lot less willingness to actually do research, use this as a platform for their job. To basically, I'll level with you. I don't want to work for the company I work for anymore. They're not the company that I hired on with anymore. I also want to figure out a way to make a living anywhere. Think about it this way. I posted the other day on Facebook that my job is literally killing me. And your job's killing you too, because of time. There is something, time has a sanctity to it, because the way you spend your time is the way you define your life. And what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, you can't really deny or argue that. So I hope you have found a method to make a living that isn't killing you, Most of us don't. Most of us do work that is not fulfilling. Most of us do work that we're not passionate about. And most of us are going to die at some point thinking that, I'll put it to you this way. Nobody on their deathbed ever says, I wish I would have worked more overtime. I wish I would have just devoted more of my attention to my job. I wish I would have made my boss's life happy. Like, nobody thinks that. And we should. We should think about that. Because the reality is that we're going to die someday. And I think it's in our best interest. I think it's certainly in my best interest. For me, in order for me to accept that fate, to accept death, I need to actually live a life that I know I did everything, I took every possible opportunity, and I contributed to the species that I belong to, and I did something good for somebody. That's what I hope to do with this. And I also quit my job. I want to help you realize and actualize your ambitions and inspire you and inform you, and I also want to do that for a living. So I hope I can help you, and I hope that somehow I'll get my needs met, because I'm providing for 3 people now. You know, most of you probably know this, that I have a family that I'm supporting alone, and I want Phoebe to go to a good school and live a good life and live in a nice neighborhood and not get addicted to heroin or crack. And I want her to learn about everything that I know. I think that's ultimately the point of being a parent. Something that I learned about most of you that have kids. Oh my God, the anxiety. I had no idea. Dude, I worry about literally almost everything. I had no idea so much danger existed in this world. Because when you're 2 years old, you're so curious about everything, and everything from your medicine cabinet to your detergents and your bleach, like all of that shit needs to be locked down. I know people that have guns that aren't locked up. And I'm worried about bleach. I don't even know if we have bleach. Brooke is the one who has all that stuff. But anyway, I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope you like it, and I hope you share it. I hope it's not something that you're going to be self-conscious about, because I understand that I do have some very unpopular and controversial opinions about things. You know, I don't even know if I want to put my name on this, so I don't blame you if you don't. Okay. That said, I'm gonna sign off. This video is 20 plus minutes long by now, and I've got some editing to do. It's got to be done by 8/11 in order to be uploaded in time for Passover, and it's gonna take me probably a good 2 hours to edit 20 minutes worth of video. Even if I do, maybe I'll just upload this and not even give a shit. I don't know. We'll see. But just know in the future there is going to be more. I'm going to talk about a lot of different things. The idea of freedom, everything that I'm listening to, everything that I'm learning about, I'm going to probably discuss first, in real time. I'm Nietzsche right now, dude. I got to get into him. The guy was... There's a reason Jordan Peterson is so fond of him. I'm in love with the dude. He's actually one of the greatest thinkers. And honestly, if I'm going to be honest with you, I'm scared that I might suffer some similar fate. I don't plan on getting syphilis, and I don't think that's going to eat away my brain. But who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to spend the last decade of my life in an institution, in an insane asylum, growing my mustache out to freakish long lengths. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do one of these episodes on him. You know, that mustache. It's a mask. He was hiding behind it. I wonder what my mask is. Probably my baseball hat and my I don't know, my cynicism. I don't know. I will definitely. I'm going to try to do some content on something that's interesting to you. If you leave a comment about what you want me to talk about, I'd be more than happy to. And honestly, if you want to come over and you want to have a conversation, we can do that. We can do it over Skype. I can figure out how to record that and upload it. Yeah, man. We live in a time now where anybody can have their own TV show, and anybody who wants to can watch it, and that's kind of amazing. Like that kind of interconnectivity, that collectiveness, that might change the world. You know, it might be what us communicating with each other actually might be what saves us. And we can talk about nihilism, and we can talk about the apocalypse, the eschaton. In fact, I plan on it. I plan on giving you my ideas and opinions and attitudes and visions about that. All right. So, thanks for watching. I'm Chris Thomas. So are you.